now we will end this chapter of reproduction in organism in the session. Do like, share and subscribe. Now we will see the sexuality, that means unisexual or bisexual in organism. First, what is meant by bisexual, we will see. Okay? Bisexual. Now, wait a second, I will change the color. Okay? Male and female reproductive structures present in the same individual. That means if the organism have male, that means organs, female organs in the same one, that is called bisexual. Now what are the examples in plants? Hibiscus and pisum. These are the plants. In flowering plants, that means both the male flower is called staminate and the female flower is called pistillate. Here, look, you can see male flower is called staminate and female flower is called pistillate. Okay, if male flower and female flowers are present in the same plant, it is called monoecious. That means if the male organ is present in the male flower and female organ is present in the female flower, it is called as the monoecious. Examples are cucurbita as well as the coconut. Okay, it is a cucurbita as well as coconut. Now the example for the bisexual animals, it is examples are earthworms. Wait a second, I will close. Okay, now you can see the bisexual animals, that is hermaphrodites. Examples are earthworms, leech, sponge as well as the tapeworm. Okay, look, bisexual, that means male and female flowers are the same plant as well as animal. That means if it is for plant, it is called bisexual plant. If it is for animal, it is called bisexual animal. The examples are bisexual one is called hibiscus or pisum. If a male is called staminate, male flower, female flower is called pistillate. If the male flower is in the male plant, it is called as monoecious. Now the examples of bisexual plant animals are earthworms, leech, sponge as well as the tapeworm. See the diagram. We will see the diagram after discussing the steps all. Now we will see about the unisexual. That means unisexual means the male parts and female parts are in the male, are distinct. Then male in male, female in female, they are saying. Now if they are present on the different plants, it's called dioecious. It is for animals, that is plants. Okay, now we will see this. Okay, male, wait a second, color is not visible in night. Okay, male and female reproductive structures are present on the different individuals. That means male one is present on male and female one is present on the female. It is same. Now, if the female flowers are present on the male, that means male, if it are present on the different plants, this is called dioecious. What are the examples? The examples are papaya as well as the date palm. Now, unisexual plants, unisexual organisms examples are cockroach as well as the higher animals. Now, fungi. Fungi may be bisexual or unisexual. Okay. So, we cannot differentiate the fungi into bisexual or unisexual. Okay. Now we will see first we will look the diagram and we will understand about the diagram. Okay. This is the diagram, first diagram. Okay. Now it is the earthworm. First, bisexual animal, earthworm. which color I can actually take? Okay, I will take the blue. Okay. This is the bisexual animal earthworm. Earthworm. Look here. It is the ovary. That means female. With the male. It is the testis sac with the testis. So here testis sac with the testis. Now we are seeing it is cockroach. Cockroach. Look, it is male cockroach and this is the female cockroach. Male cockroach has testis, female cockroach has ovary. Now we will see the monoecious plant. It is monoecious means bisexual. Bisexual. Look here, female. Remember in the examination they can ask where oogonium and the antheridium are present in the Chara plant. In the Chara plant, antheridium is present on the lower side while the oogonium is present on the upper side. This is the main one. Okay? That means oogonium is present in the female part. The oogonium is upper. The antheridium is lower. Now this is the Chara. Now we will see for the Margenssia plant. It is unisexual. It is Archaeothopore, that is Archegyniophore. It is Antheridiaphore. Look at this cap-like. Cap. It is the flower-like. You can remember in the examination, like the females wear flower. So it is a flower, while males wear caps. The caps. It is a male thallus and it is the female thallus. Now you see the bisexual flower. So bisexual flower means both male and female present in the same plant. Look here. Stamen. It is carpus. The stamen comes under female part, while carpus comes under male part. This is the diagram. Whole diagram. Now we will see the pre-fertilization events. Now first I will copy this. Okay. Okay, this is the whole diagram. First, we will see about this part only. Now, okay, I will take the black color. Now, many monoerous, fungi, algae, bryophytes are what? Bryophytes are haploid. That means they produce N. That means single. N. That means they produce haploid gametes by mitosis. That means algae, monera, fungi, bryophyte. Until monera to bryophytes, they are haploid. So they are produce haploid gametes. Now, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, animals have diploid parental body. That means they produce haploid gametes by meiosis or myocytes. So, these are the haploid one. While they produce haploid, while other one are diploid and produce haploid. So diploid, the parental body is 2n, while the children are n. Now they produce gametes by meiosis or myocytes. The myocytes means gamete mother cell. Okay, so the gamete mother cell. Now we will see from the starting what they have given. Okay, first name of the organism. Now what is the name of the organism they are saying. And then chromosome number. Chromosome number is it is for the parents and it is for the children. Okay, it is for the parents as well as it is for the children. Now the first organism. The first organism is for the human being. Human being has the 46 in the parents, and for the gametes it is 23. Now we will see for the housefly. For the housefly, it is 12. For the for the parent, for the children, it is 6. Okay. Now for the rat, it is 42, and for the children, it is 21. Now for dog, it is 78. So look how much higher than a human being. And it is 39. 78 and 39. Now for the cat, it is 38, and for the gamete it is 19. Now we will have a fruit. For fruit fly it is 8, and for the offspring it is 4. Look, for Ophioglossum it is 1 2 6 0 and it is 630. Okay, remember this one. 1 2 6 0 630. For apple it is 34. 34. This is 17 for apple. For rice it is 12. That means it is for offspring. It is for parent. Now for maize it is 20, and for the gamete it is 10. For potato it is 48. So look, there are only 1, 2, 3 more than human. That is dog, Ophioglossum, as well as the potato. In the next they can ask. And butterfly also more than human. So 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for onion it is 16 and it is 8. Okay, that is all. Okay, this is the main important one. Now we will see the next. We have completed this. Now we will see the gamete transfer. Okay. Male gametes need a medium to move towards a female gamete for fertilization. So for fertilization, a male gamete requires a medium to reach the female gamete. In most organisms, male gamete is motile and the female gamete is non-motile, which is stationary. So in some algae and fungi, the both gametes are motile. Okay, the both gametes are motile. Look here, it is for the plant. It is for the animal. Okay, to reach the female gamete, male gamete need to transfer through the medium. So, and most of the animals the male gamete is motile while the female gamete is non-motile. But especially in some algae and fungi, both are motile. Now this is the diagram. Now this is the egg. Okay, first we will copy the diagram to our page. Okay. Now this is the which color? Okay, I will take green. Now this is for the plant. Now this is for the animal. Okay. Now this is the pollen, and this is the pollen tube, ovary. Now this is the female. This is the male. This one. This is all the male one. That means they have pollen grains. This is the tube. Look here. A tube is coming. Wait, I will change the color and I will show you. Now this is the pollen tube into the ovary. This is the van. And this is the for animal. This sperm. This egg. Look, this is how this is so big one. This is the sperm and this is the egg. Now we will see the next one. The same diagram they have given, but we don't ignore it. We are cutting. Okay, we can ignore the diagram. In the earlier we have said the gametes require a medium to transfer. In simple plants like algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gamete transfer it takes place to the water medium. But we know in the water there is a risk to lose the gamete, main gamete. To compensate this loss, there are many gametes are produced. Look here. To compensate the loss of male gamete during transport, large number of male gamete is produced. That means in water there is a loss. That means by eating of the larger organisms or some other reasons, so large number of one is required. Now, in seed plants, pollen grains, that means in anthers, carry male gametes and ovule carries the egg. That means in seed plant it is for the male. Pollen grains is for the male. It is for the female. Okay. Now pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. That means they are transferred to the stigma of the female flower. This is the one. Or transferred to the female. This is the one. Or this is the next page. Okay. Due to this we cannot move. Now we will see the last one of the pre-fertilization events. Now in bisexual self-fertilizing plants, the gametes are close to each other. Okay, and so transfer of pollination is easy. And it's called self-pollination. That means in a bisexual plant, the male and female are the same plant, so they can transfer the pollen grain easily. But in cross-pollinating plants, including dioecious plants, pollination is the only step. While the male gamete is located here, while the female gamete is located here. How can they reach? They cannot reach. So they can require the pollinators use. So pollination is the transfer of pollen grains. So how? Now with the help of pollinator, they can go to the stigma and they can land. After that, they can germinate and pollen tube will develop and carry male gametes to the ovule and discharge them in the egg. Now, in animals, fertilization helps for successful transfer and coming together of gametes. That means if the both gametes and the both gametes are coming together, that is why the fertilization is successful. This is the main reason. Fertilization helps. What helps in the successful transfer? The fertilization helps. In what way they will come to each other and they will combine. The step is called fertilization. And in bisexual self-fertilization, they cannot. So the external agent is not necessary, but in the bisexual, that means in cross-pollination one, that means dioecious, pollination is required for transfer of pollen grains to the stigma and from the stigma to the ovary. How they go? With the help of pollen grains. Dioecious animal, the fertilization helps for successful transfer of and coming together of gametes. Okay, we can see that one in the later stage of the your syllabus. Now we will see about the this is the sexual reproduction. Now we are seeing the fertilization events. Now it is the fusion of male gamete, female gamete to diploid zygote. So male and female will combine. Wait a second, I will. Okay, I hope it is clear. Okay, here the male and female gametes will fuse with each other to form the diploid zygote. In rotifers, that means honey bee, some lizards, birds, etc. Female gamete develops two new organs without fertilization. This is called look. This is the main. This is called diploid honey bee. Diploid honey bee. It is haploid honey bee. So, with the help of meiosis, they can develop into eggs. So there is no fertilization, and it leads to the new organisms. So a diploid female bee with the help of meiosis produces eggs, and the eggs will mature and will form the new organism. That's the same step. But in diploid female bee and haploid male bee, it is meiosis, and eggs are produced. In haploid male bee, it is in haploid male bee. This is haploid female bee. So there is no fertilization. But here we have diploid female bee and diploid male bee. But here diploid female bee undergoes meiosis, but diploid female bee do not undergo meiosis. So female will produce eggs while the male will produce the sperms, and they will combine to form the diploid female bees. This is the main reason. Okay, I think it is completed. So the female gametes develop to new organisms without fertilization. So the process without fertilization is called as the parthenogenesis. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. It is fine. Fertilization without okay, I think there is a mistake here. And without fertilization, formation without fertilization is known as parthenogenesis. This is the one, parthenogenesis. Okay. Now we will see the types of fertilization. Now, external fertilization as well as the internal fertilization. Okay. Now there are two types: external fertilization and the internal fertilization. That means fertilization occurs in the external medium. That means zygote is formed outside the body. The examples are most aquatic organisms like algae, bony fishes, etc. and amphibians. So fertilization occurs in the, look here, frog external fertilization. These are the pollen. Okay. These are the sperms, we can say. Okay. These are the sperms. Look, this is frog external fertilization. It is the female will egg. Now the sperm will come near and it forms a new fish. That means the sperms will come from this and it will lead to the new fish. Okay, this is the step. So zygote is formed outside the body. Such organisms show synchrony between sexes and release large number of gametes into the surrounding medium to ensure syngamy. That means there is a similarities of the gametes. So they produce large number of one, and it to ensure syngamy to complete the sexual reproduction. That means fertilization. Now what is the disadvantage? That means due to the now if they produce so less, there will a complete eating of all the gametes. So the large number of gametes are produced into the environment. The offspring are extremely vulnerable to the predators, treating the survival up to adulthood. This is the second one. The first one is they produce large due to compensate the gametes. The second one is there is no safety. We cannot guarantee either it lives up to the adulthood or not. Now we will see the next. Now we will see internal fertilization. Okay, we will see about internal fertilization. Here syngamy occurs inside the body of organism. That means example terrestrial animals, belongs to fungi, animals, reptiles, birds, mammals, and plant, bryophytes, pteridophytes, and gymnosperms and animal sperms. So in the womb of the mother, there is a production of offspring, that is called internal fertilization. The examples are terrestrial organisms belonging to fungi, animals, reptiles, birds, mammals, and the plants are bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Now here, non-motile egg is formed inside the female body to where male motile gamete reaches and fuses. Okay. Now in this the female gamete is non-motile and the male gamete is motile, and the male gamete reaches the female motile and they will fuse and they will form the fertilization. In seed plants, the non-motile male gamete are carried to the female gamete by pollen tubes. So in plants, both male and gametes are non-motile. So they will reach, the male gamete reaches the female gamete with the help of the pollen tube. There is large number of sperms. It's the same way there is a large number of sperms produced in, but the number of eggs is very low. Now we can see in internal fertilization, if the sperms are very high in number, but the eggs are very low in number. This they are saying. Now we will see the next step. Now this is the same as the one. Now this is the post fertilization event. What the post an event will occur. Okay, first zygote. Okay, first the development of zygote depends upon the type of this life cycle of organism and the nature of the environment. Now we can see the zygote will develop based on the life, how the life cycle of organism will be. So for the example, for human we have different lifespan. It depend upon the organism one and the environmental one, environmental basis. Let me exactly know what is the environment, we don't know. We will in the latest stages of our life. Now, in fungi and algae, zygote develops a thick wall that is resistant to desiccation and damage. So, in algae and fungi, the zygote develops a thick wall that protects the zygote from the damage, desiccation from the external environment. So it undergoes some period of rest before germination. It undergoes a period of rest before germination. Okay? This is the one. Now we have seen that in the development zygote depends upon the life cycle of the organism, and the second one is the environmental conditions. That is the one. Now in algae and fungi, the zygote will undergo will develop a thick wall over it, and it protects against the desiccation and damage to the embryo, and the zygote will undergo a period of rest before germination. This is the one. Now this is the zygote. It's something inside the human. We will see this now. Now, post-fertilization. In organism with haplontic life cycle, zygote divides by meiosis into haplontic spores that grow into haploid individuals. Now, in haploid bodies, in haplotic, that means we have there are two life cycles, haploid and diploid. In haploid life cycle, the zygote will develop into zygote spores. After that, it leads to haploid individuals. Sorry, it is haploid, not zygote. Sexually reproducing organisms begin life as a zygote. So, sexual organisms, they begin their life as what? They begin as life as zygote. Zygote is a vital link. So, this is the main important. Zygote is a vital link between organisms of the one generation and the next. So, what is the vital link between two successive generations? Zygote. So, you can say zygote is a vital link between the organisms of one generation and the next. So, this is a diagram. We will see the diagram in human reproduction chapter. Now, we will see the embryogenesis. It is the development of embryo from the zygote. So, the zygote is formed. After that, it leads to the embryo. During embryogenesis, zygote will undergo several cell divisions and cell differentiations. Okay? Cell divisions means the number of cells will increase. Look here. Now, why cell differentiation will occur? Cell differentiation will occur because they are due to the tissues and the organs will form. So, because of cell differentiation, the different types of tissues and organ system will form. Now, during embryogenesis, zygote undergoes cell division and cell differentiation. Cell division increase the number of cells in the embryo. Cell division will increase. While the cell differentiation causes modifications of groups of cells into various tissues and organs to form organism. Now it is not in the plant, it is in animals. Zygote. Zygote will undergo cleavage to form two-cell stage. From two-cell stage it goes to four-cell stage. From four-cell stage it will go to eight-cell stage. It is one, it is two, you can say. And from eight-cell stage it will form medulla to blastocyst. First I will copy the diagram. Okay, this is the one. Okay, now this is the diagram. We will see this in the plant, sexual reproduction in flowering plants chapter. Okay, don't make sound stamps. Now, embryogenesis is of two types. There are two types of embryogenesis based on zygote development, and also two types, oviparous and viviparous. Now we have seen we have studied in the childhood stages that animals are of two types, oviparous and viviparous. Why this base? They are based on the zygotic development. Based on zygotic development, organisms are two types, oviparous as well as viviparous. Now, oviparous means the organisms lay eggs and they will hatch, they will form the new organisms. Viviparous means the organisms will, the new born babies will directly eject out after forming a new individual. Okay, they do not lay eggs. This is the one. Now we will see the oviparous and the viviparous. Now this is the oviparous. Now we will see the viviparous one. This is the last viviparous. Okay, first we will see about the this is the viviparous one. Okay, this is the oviparous. We will copy to the new page. Okay, this is the now first oviparous. Oviparous. Oviparous means organisms lay fertilized or unfertilized eggs. So here the organisms directly lay eggs, but they after hatching they form a new organism. Example, in reptiles and birds, the fertilizing eggs are covered by calcareous shell or laid in a safe place. So the examples are reptiles and birds lay the calcareous shelled animal eggs. That means the organisms are made up of calcium carbonate shells that are laid in a safe place. After some time, they will develop into the new organisms and they will hatch out. Okay, this is the one. Now we will see the next one. Now this is the viviparous one. Okay, this is the viviparous. We will complete this section after completing this viviparous one. Okay. Okay, guys. This is the viviparous. That means the zygote developed into a new organism after coming out. That means the organism develops comes out after forming into a new individual. Look here, the zygote develops into egg one inside the female body. Later the embryo develops out of the body. This is most of the mammals. This is the one. That means the organisms will form the new individuals inside the womb and it form the and it let it out. Examples are most of the mammals. Now, because proper care and protection, chances of survival are higher. Now, these are the examples. The oviparous, that means eggs, reptiles and birds is the mammals. Okay guys, we have completed this reproduction in organism chapter. In the next session, we will discuss about the problems and the next chapter. Okay guys, do like, share and subscribe to our channel mahatmaacademy.com. Bye bye.